In this video, we're going to learn about slope-intercept form. So, if an equation is written like this, then it's considered to be in slope-intercept form. You'll notice that it's y equals, and you'll notice that there's three other letters involved. X is obviously has to do with the x-coordinate of the graph, and y has to do with the y-coordinate. M represents the slope of the line that you're graphing. I don't know why they picked M for slope, but M represents the slope of the line, and B represents the y-intercept. Again, I don't know why they picked B, but that represents where the line crosses the y-axis. So if I were to give you this equation, y equals 2x plus 6, without even seeing the graph, you could tell me that the slope is 2 and the y-intercept is 6. That means that this line goes up 2 and over 1 for its slope, and it hits the y-axis at 6. This one has a slope of 3/4 and a y-intercept of -2. That means if I were to graph this, I would need to start at the -2 on the y-axis and rise 3 and run 4 to get my next point. This one doesn't have a number in front of the x, so the slope is 1, because remember, a number in front of a variable that's not written, it's invisible, is 1, right? If I put 2 there, then I know there's 2 x's. If I put 3 there, I know there's 3 x's. If I don't write a number there, that means there's 1 x. So this one has a slope of 1 and a y-intercept of 10. This one has a slope of -1/5. That means that my line needs to go rise 1, run 5, but it needs to go downhill from left to right. And the y-intercept is 9. And this one has a slope of -5, and it has no y-intercept, right? So there's secretly a +0 being added to this equation, so the y-intercept is 0. That means that this graph goes through the origin. So let's put this plan into action here. Let's try to graph an equation. If I have y equals -1/3 x minus 5, I'm going to start with this y-intercept of -5 and make a point. Whoops. And then I'm going to use the slope of -1/3 to rise 1 and run 3. So when you're given an equation, the number at the end is the y-intercept, and the number in front of the x, the coefficient for x, that's the slope. So you use that to make your 2 points, and then you submit your answer. This one says the y-intercept is +3. The slope is -5. Now that's not a fraction, but it's really over 1, right? So I need to rise 5 and run 1. So that's my answer to that one. Another type of question you'll see is going the other way, where I will give you the equation, or I will give you the line, and I want to know what the equation is. So the equation of this line is y equals mx plus b, but I need to change the letters to be numbers. B is the y-intercept, so that's 5. And the slope is m, that's the rise and the run between these points. So I'm going to use this point here. I rise 5 and I run 6, so my slope is 5/6. And it's positive 5/6 because it's going up and to the right. So this one, I always like to write the equation first, y equals mx plus b, and then change the b to be the y-intercept, which is 6, right there. And then the slope, it looks like it's going up 1 over 1, rise 1, run 1. So that'd be 1/1, which could just be reduced to 1, which means I don't even have to write the 1. And it's going downhill from left to right, so it should be a -1. So the answer to this one's y equals -x plus 6. All right, so one more time just to recap. If an equation looks like this, it's in slope-intercept form. The number in front of the x is the slope, and you want to write that as a fraction or a whole number or an integer. And the number at the end, the number that's being added or subtracted, is the y-intercept. That's all for today. Thanks for watching.